Welcome to the Kenton County Public Library virtual history tour of Southern Kenton County. This summer we're going to explore the history and stories of buildings, houses, and landmarks south of Interstate 275. Every other Wednesday we'll post a new video highlighting an important location in Southern Kenton County history. Videos we'll post to our Facebook group, Kenton Library Archives, and our Kenton County Public Library YouTube channel. We'll also have a special tour-related post on our Instagram account, which is found at Kenton Library Archives. Our historic house tour today is at the Oxley-West home, located at 5234 Madison Pike in Independence, Kentucky. So to start, I'll go over a little bit about the physical characteristics of the house and what makes it unique. The Oxley-West House was built around 1847. The house would typically be considered a federal-style home. Some of the defining features of the house include the boxy shape of the home, narrow columns, and the structure itself is typically made of clapboard or brick. Windows are never grouped in a federal-style house, but are arranged individually in strict horizontal and vertical symmetry. The front entrance of a federal home is usually the most decorated part of the house, and the Oxley-West home is no exception. There is a curly Q-like design in the moldings, and the window is intricately cut with a flower design. Before we get to the personal history of the home and its former occupants, I would like to just mention that a lot of research and information over this house was initially conducted by one of our department's former staff members, Olivia Don. She put together a really well-researched article for the Bulletin of the Kenton County Historical Society in 2018. It's definitely worth your time to seek out that full article in the September-October issue of 2018. The matriarch of this home was a woman by the name of Philadelphia Oliver. She was born in 1795 in Virginia to Revolutionary War veteran John Wesley Oliver and Elizabeth True. She moved with her family to Kentucky, where she met Claire Oxley, born in 1799 in Fayette County, Kentucky. The couple married in Fayette County in 1823. They had at least 5 children born in Kentucky, including Elizabeth Oxley, John Oliver Oxley, Thomas Jefferson Oxley, and Benjamin Franklin Oxley. Claire Oxley joined the forces fighting in the Mexican-American War and died in Santa Fe, New Mexico on Christmas Day, 1847. Philadelphia suffered through many other losses, including the death of her daughter Elizabeth in 1853 and her mother in 1856. It's likely her other sons also died in conflicts. By 1857, Philadelphia's 2 sons, John Oliver and Thomas Jefferson, were fighting in Mexico, and on April 7, 1857, the men tried to blow up a church, and the expedition was captured. Tragically, they were executed by firing squad. Frederick Oxley was her youngest son, who later became a stave dealer. According to city directories, the F.G. Oxley Stave Company had an office on the northwest corner of 2nd and Walnut Streets in Cincinnati. He later sold real estate in Cincinnati as a young man and eventually came to Independence in 1867 and ran a 300-acre farm. Frederick's company went through some legal trouble due to the issues between the union and his business. The case involving his business went all the way to the U.S. Court of Appeals. The company switched its production to more automated methods, specifically a machine to hoop barrels, inciting the anger of some unions. The union called for a boycott of all machine-hooped Oxley Stave Company goods across the United States, Canada, and Europe. The union insisted that some of their large clients request only hand-hooped barrels or else boycott the company altogether. The union also claimed child labor was being used to cut costs. The company claimed that the boycott caused them significant loss of income. The U.S. District Court ruled in favor of the Stave Company and stated that the union had no right to deprive the company of how to manage its business. Furthermore, the court claimed that ruling in favor of the union would set a precedent that would allow them to prevent the use of typesetters, presses, and other inventions that would make work easier. Frederick and his wife, Margaret, went on to have 2 children together, Robert, born in 1869, and Mary Elizabeth in 1872. According to his death record, Frederick Oxley died in 1900 of stomach inflammation while in Alabama. Margaret became the administrator of 3 different estates in Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Frederick's estate at that time was worth an estimated $500,000 cash, together with his large properties. Robert Oxley married Flora Reagan, also of Independence, Kentucky. The two married at the Oxley House in Independence. However, by 1897, the Cincinnati Enquirer reported on trouble in the marriage with a headline that read, "Divorce sought by wife of Robert Oxley, son of a millionaire." According to the article, Flora accused Robert of cruelty and drunkenness and eventually moved to Alabama with her children after the finalization of the divorce. Thomas J. Oxley and his brother John Oliver eventually traveled to the West in search of gold. Letters home to Philadelphia from her sons were pessimistic, as Thomas was attempting to open his medical practice, while John was trying to get his legal career started in Missouri. John was eventually successful in opening his practice, as evidenced by signing his letters John O. Oxley, Attorney at Law, starting around 1849. Thomas also made it to California, where he worked as a doctor. However, by 1852, Thomas seemed to have cooled on the idea of being a doctor and expressed desires to move back home to his family. The West were connected to the Oxleys by marriage and were a farming family in Ohio and Kentucky. Moses West was born in Ohio around 1860 and married Mary A. Higgins in January 1837 in Campbell County, Kentucky. They moved to Independence and had two daughters, Margaret, born in 1848, and Susan, around 1852. Moses was a farmer, but became a teamster and stagecoach driver by the 1860s. According to Mary West's gravestone, she died in 1890, at which point Moses moved in with his daughter Margaret and her husband, Fred G. Oxley. Moses lived with Margaret until his death in 1908. And as of right now, the home is for sale for around $200,000. And unlike many other homes on the market today, the Oxley house has actually gone down in price from about $500,000 during the list time. It was on the market in 2019. In the 1990s, however, the house was opened as a small museum by then Mayor of Independence, Marion Shadler, and was open to tours displaying artifacts from that time period. Join us in 2 weeks as we explore the history of the Dr. Caleb Manley House located at Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Erlanger. If you'd like assistance with researching your own historic Kenton County property, you can make a one-on-one research assistance appointment by calling 859-962-4070 or emailing history@kentonlibrary.org.